What additional tips do you have for us? What's another tip you have?
Functionality over appearance. There was a podcast I was listening to, and the guy said, everyone, no matter how old you are, should get down on the ground, flat on the ground, don't make it or back, and get back up. At least one time a day. It's called a burpee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this episode of Guiding You Forward. I am your host, Tasia Briggs, and we have the pleasure of sitting down today with Brittany Taylor, our corporate fitness trainer. Hi, Brittany.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
I'm so excited to have you on the podcast today.
Thanks for having me.
We're going to be talking about some really fun, interesting things that make me really excited to talk to you.
I'm excited.
One of the things I want to ask you, how long have you been at Mountain America?
Gosh, 7 years. I just crossed my 7-year mark a few days ago, actually. But yeah, I love it here. The company's awesome. The team members are amazing. I get to work in this beautiful gym. So yeah, it's been an amazing experience so far.
7 years. Congratulations.
7 years. Thank you. Thank you.
Tell us a little bit more about what you do as the corporate wellness trainer.
Essentially, I always joke, I'm a personal trainer for over 3,500 team members. So essentially, I get to meet with the team members one-on-one, talk about their goals and how I can help. And if that's writing them a workout plan, giving them suggestions, working out with them one-on-one. I do group exercise classes here as well, and I upload those videos where all the team members can join in on those videos, either live or the recordings, and they can do it from the comfort of their own home.
That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, I've had great experience with you, at least every time I've been in the gym. I know tons of employees here who have loved your classes and always talk about how good they are and how good they feel afterward.
Yeah.
So I know for sure, whatever you are doing, it's working. It's doing great.
It's awesome. Yeah, we teach. I teach classes, core classes, weight training classes, HIIT classes. There's a dance fitness class that's probably my most popular class, surprisingly here.
Dance fitness,
People
yeah.
dancing around in front of their coworkers. It's just an amazing experience, and the participation is awesome. So I'm very, very happy to be here and be able to support people in their fitness goals.
That's incredible. We love having you. We do. You're amazing.
Great. It's great.
So you said you've been here at Mountain America for 7 years, but how long have you been working in health, wellness, fitness industry?
Gosh, I've been a personal trainer for over 22 years.
Wow.
So, for quite some time. I've had my share of success stories and excuses and complaints and all the fun conversations you could have. Yeah, I've been a trainer for 22 years. And it's just been an amazing journey, and I get to have my hand in those success stories, and I'm a part of it. I don't do the work for anyone, but I'm very grateful to be able to see those individuals succeed in whatever capacity.
That is incredible. Your wealth of knowledge must be so vast. I can't even imagine. 22 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's been a while. It's been a while. I know. I think 22 years. I'm kind of dating myself. I won't say how old I am, but 22 years is a long time.
That's an incredible, incredible journey, I'm sure.
There's not a day I walk through the door that I'm not. I can't wait to teach classes, work out with these individuals, have these assessments, and you walk in, and I don't feel like I'm at work. I just feel like it's my family and it's home, and it's just something I just love to do. And I know a lot of people don't get to experience that.
Yeah, that's really special. And how cool, too, to be able to have such an impact on people's lives that really changes their lives in every way possible.
Yeah.
So
It's awesome. I get emotional about some stories that I'll probably share in just a bit. So it's been an amazing journey.
So were you always drawn to health and fitness, healthy lifestyle as a kid, or is that something that came along later in life?
I would say it came along later in life. I'm from a small town in Louisiana, population 3,500 people, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, we'd ride our bikes everywhere. We'd walk to our friend's house, and I guess that's exercise for a lot of people these days, which that wasn't really exercise for us. It was just what we did as kids.
That was life. Yeah.
I was definitely one of those that if our coach in high school told us to warm up with 2 laps around the track, if they were ahead of me and I could go across the track to cheat, I would as fast as I could to cheat in the
Like,
PE
I'll cut
class.
some time. I'll cut some time.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'm like, are they watching? So I didn't always just love, I guess, exercise as a kid. It was just way of life. I didn't really feel any of it was exercise. So I would say that I didn't have a solid exercise routine growing up. I didn't
Okay.
love it. That was a passion later on in life.
So what led you to it then through all of that?
Gosh, I graduated high school and I started working at the local YMCA in my hometown.
Mhm.
I was also working at a clothing store as well, and it was just right across the street. Again, small town. So I would get done with one job and I'd hop over to the other. And I started off at the YMCA just like babysitting, front desk, just extra money on the side. But then I started talking with people that had great experiences in the gym, and you know, their quality of life increased. They no longer have osteoporosis because they started lifting weights, and they're able to do things with their family now that they couldn't before because of their weight loss and stuff. So I kind of saw that positive shift in people, and I'm like, I want to be a part of this. I don't know how. You can't really major in personal training in school, so
Right, right.
I went to my advisor and I just said, I want to help people. That's what I want to do. And she said, okay.
She
Uh,
said, "Great."
how about come back to me when you have like a plan, essentially. So anyway, the closest thing I could get is health and exercise science.
Mm.
And so that's what I pursued. And here I am.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Like, how cool to have something that you just automatically saw and said, "This is how I can make an impact and this is how I can change somebody's life."
This is it. I knew I wanted
Yeah.
to be a part of it. I didn't know to what capacity. She's like nurse, doctor. I'm like, no. Okay, yeah, I'll come back. And then, from the gym, and I started working out with a dear friend of mine who I still talk to this day, who was very limited in her workout ability.
Yeah.
She was born club-footed, and she had some other things going on. So I started working out with her, and after 6 months, she lost 86 pounds.
Wow.
I couldn't really use the term working out with her. It was, let's go to the mailbox to get the mail. Like, let's walk, let's do this, let's have fun, and so that worked for her. And so I just saw her not be able to walk from her car to inside without being out of breath, to riding her bike 20 miles and walking 2 miles, and just the energy she had and the confidence she had was just, I knew I still wanted to be a part of it to some extent.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very grateful to have those experiences and to see that and to know that that's what I wanted to do. And then here I am as a corporate fitness trainer.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it is crazy when we start to think about how so much of your health and wellness and your own personal health and wellness affect even just the small daily tasks that you do every day, from being able to carry your groceries upstairs to, picking something up off the floor. It's
crazy. Quality of life is just something to be spoken for. Longevity, So
Yeah.
Probably wouldn't have said that 15 years ago in my a podcast or anything like that, but just through the experiences I've had and the people's lives that I've seen change for the better, just because they've moved more and have chosen to eat a little better. It's amazing to
Yeah.
watch.
I mean, I have my own testament to that in my own life. So I
Yeah.
think, you and I have had plenty of conversations
Yes.
about this in the
Yes.
gym and during our time.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So yeah, I know I'm right with you on how important it really is.
Yeah.
So, of everything that you have learned, and I'm sure your own routines that you figured out on your own, what is one habit or ritual that you have for yourself that grounds you?
Oof. I would say, first off, getting outside, going on a small walk, words of affirmation, and take a moment to express gratitude for the things that you're grateful for. It can literally change your whole day. In my graduate course, we had a entire class in a semester on gratefulness and the importance of how important that is, to start off the day with one, grateful for family. I'm able to walk. I mean, whatever it is, how that can just, that positive affirmation can change your entire day.
Yeah.
So I do that all throughout the day, actually. Very grateful person, very grateful to be here, very grateful for my job and my love for life. And I think I can attribute a lot of that to me being grateful for a lot of aspects in that as well.
Yeah, I can relate a lot. My morning routine consists of sunlight first thing in the morning.
Yep.
First thing in my
Amazing.
eyes when I wake up is sunlight,
Yep.
followed by gratitude. And I have a whole gratitude journal that I
Yeah.
will write some things in the morning. I also have my own affirmations that I repeat to myself too. And
Yeah.
ever since doing that on my own journey, I can 1,000% attest to what you are saying of it works.
Yeah. Yeah.
It really
and
does.
and it takes the individual to experience that for themselves to know what we've experienced as well. So for me, I would say, yeah, just getting outside, and I love the outdoors. It makes me happy. And then also just very, very grateful for life and for what I've accomplished and where I am.
With that, when it comes to starting a new habit, starting a new ritual, for me in the past, it has started out as I had a goal that I was trying to achieve. And one thing that I have recognized through my journey, and I'm wondering if you have recognized some of the same things, when it comes to setting goals, you can also not only set your fitness goals, but a lot of those lessons that you learn by achieving or setting out to reach some sort of wellness goal helps you develop habits in your life that bleed into a lot of other areas.
Of course.
And for me, one of the big areas that it also led into was being able to set better goals and reach goals around finances as well.
Yes.
And I don't know what your experience has been with that, but for me, I've noticed a lot of crossover and correlation between the two.
Yeah. Yeah. Whenever you're, healthy, your mind is where it's supposed to be, right? You're doing all the things to combat stress, depression, stress from finances, whatever that looks like. Once you have something under control, like you said, it bleeds into something else, and that can bleed into your finances as well as keeping that under control and figuring out the best practices for you as far as keeping that on track.
Right. Yeah. It's all part of the journey, right?
It is, yeah. And figuring things out. What works for you and what works for me might not be the same, but figuring, that out can help you in the long run.
In line with a lot of that we just talked about, when it comes to setting goals, say you want to eat healthier, be better, build better financial habits, what are some tips, tricks that you think can really help us with that? Really help somebody be successful with whatever goal they're trying to set?
2 right out of the gate from experience. Again, this looks different for everyone. Set realistic goals. You have no idea the amount of people I meet with, and they're not on an exercise routine. They don't have a lot of time for it, but then all of a sudden I want to work out 7 days a week for 2 hours. And you're like, okay, I don't know if that's going to quite work.
And they
because you
haven't been in the
had-
gym ever, or
Yes.
only been to the gym maybe like once in the last 4 years.
Yeah, exactly. So you kind of have to be a little more realistic of your time, what that looks like for you. Are you working around kids, a job, 2 jobs, like whatever that looks like. Be very, very realistic with yourself, because right, once you check something off the list, it's like, okay, gives you a little motivation to keep going. So if that's all right, 2 days a week, I'm going to start off 20 minutes. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. And then you can just build on that, right? Because if you start off shooting from the stars, but you're landing still on the floor, you're probably not going to stick with it. It's just, I've seen it time and time again, and I cannot yell enough that just realistic, just whatever that looks like for you. If it's walking, if it's going to a gym, which leads into my second, you have to like what you do. You have to like your workout routine. Not everyone's going to like what I do. Not everyone's going to like what you do.
Yep.
Some people like group exercise classes. Some people like yoga. Some people, they have the time to spend 2 hours in the gym. They want to lift heavy. Some people like running. You have to find whatever works for you. If you don't like your routine, you are not going to stick with it. You're not.
I always call it
I've never
moving.
seen it. I've never seen it.
No.
Maybe someone can prove me wrong, but I've never seen it. So be realistic with your time, what you like. And you have to like what you do. If someone told me I had to swim, I like doing it all, but someone's like, okay, you have to swim 2 miles a day, 5 days a week. I'd be like, okay.
Oh,
I'm
you'd
I'm
lose me. I'm not a
I'm
powerful
I'm
swimmer,
done.
so I'd be out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm done. I like swimming. I like being in the sun, but to do that as my activity and my exercise, that does not get me going.
Mhm.
I know some people that they love swimming. It's great. I'm like, yeah, like go for it. That's not something I would like to do. I wouldn't stick with it if I don't like it.
Right.
So I would keep those two things in mind, top of the list.
And I think even so, like we had talked about how these types of habits and rituals and can be applied in other areas to your life when we were mentioning even finances. And when you set a financial goal for yourself, it's pretty much the same thing where
Yeah.
you are going to have days, weeks, months where it's not on, you didn't reach the goal, whatever routine you had established did not come to fruition.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that achieving your goal is still not possible.
No. Yeah.
And it just takes a little bit of, I think, for me, you mentioned gratitude. I think there's a lot to be said about when you fall short, finding the moments of gratitude to be grateful for where you're at and how far you've come.
Yeah.
And recognizing that, for me, that's a helpful tool that helps me want to continue pursuing what I'm pursuing, whether it is health related or financial related or whatever goal it is I have set for myself.
Yeah.
Having those small moments of gratitude really is impactful and a motivator for me to help keep me going.
Yeah. I think we as humans, life goes pretty good most of the time, But when you have those days, those moments, those weeks that aren't so great, sometimes we don't know how to handle it. And so it's setting yourself up for success and knowing that you're going to have those hard times.
Right.
You're when you're setting sail, you don't plan for those beautiful days. It's amazing. You don't even think twice about it. But it's those days that are rainy and hard and shaky that you have to plan and know that this happens and we have to work through it, and how you work through it with your goals and the tools you have, resources can help you get through it.
Yeah, I think that that's a perfect segue too into the new year is coming. And this is a time of resolutions. This is a time of people wanting to start whatever it is they're wanting to achieve, trying to better themselves. And I wonder, do people need to wait until the new year to start achieving or start working toward a new goal?
Yes. No.
The answer is no. Okay, confirmed.
The answer is no. A lot of people just wait for that perfect moment. It's just like, oh, the New Year's let me get through the holidays, through the parties and the treats and all the things, and I don't have time to go to the gym. And but it's finding that day, time, hour that you're like, it's it. This is what I'm doing today. This is where I'm starting, and this is how I'm going to execute it. And you just have to stick with it and know that it's not going to be perfect, but just start.
Yeah.
Just start doing something, you know? So
much like you said, right? Life comes and life is always going to come at us. And there's never going to be that 100% perfect time.
No, ever.
Yeah.
Ever.
So why wait?
Yeah. So you just start whenever you want. But New Year's, great place to start.
Sure.
If you're a New Year's resolutioner.
Yeah.
It can be an exciting time for a personal trainer, an absolute amazing time. I get to see and meet a lot of people that are super excited about their goals, and we set a plan up for them, but then you start to see that little... And it's so sad. It's so sad for me as a trainer to see that they were just so gung-ho with their goals and what they want to achieve. And then after a month or two, it's like, oh, I'm not going to do it anymore. I don't have time.
Right.
This happened. And as much as you don't want that to happen, again, it's setting realistic goals and knowing that you're going to have those days and weeks, month or two, that's not going to be perfect.
Yeah.
So
giving yourself some grace in those times for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. And another tip, plan to fail. I've kind of alluded to this a little bit, but you have to know that it's not going to be perfect. And you're going to lose sight of your goal if you think that it's going to be perfect 100% of the time. It's not. It's not. You're going to have those weeks and those moments where life isn't going good, or it's busy,
right?
At work, or now you have this trip going on, and then whatever that looks like. So you have to know ahead of time this isn't going to be perfect. I'm going to do my best to hit these goals. But if I don't get these 2 or 3 days in, or, maybe I had an hour to go to the gym today, it's only going to be 15 minutes now. Yeah, go for a walk,
Right. Mm-hmm.
still get some sort of movement in if you can. But if not, no big deal.
Yeah.
You're still doing better than what you were doing, just being aware of that.
Yeah. I think that's a
So,
big one.
yeah.
That's great. What additional tips do you have for us? What's another tip you have for
Oh,
us?
man. Again, another tip that I have would be functionality over appearance.
Uh-huh.
Again, if I was doing this podcast 15 years ago, it's probably not top of my list. As I've gotten older and as I've gotten more experience, it's great to have that goal of, I'm just going to start. I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start by walking. I'm going to start lifting weights, whatever that looks like, whatever routine and goal you have. And the functionality part comes in of just longevity, being able to move as an adult,
Yep.
get down on the floor with your kids, chase your kids up the stairs, chase your dog around the park, just being aware of the functionality part of weightlifting. I always joke that a burpee is what it is until you're older and you literally are on the ground and cannot get back up.
Yeah.
That's what a burpee is. You're on the ground and you get back up. It's part of an exercise routine. There's a lot of us that like it, a lot of us that don't. But it's a functionality movement. There was a podcast I was listening to, and the guy said, everyone, no matter how old you are, should get down on the ground, flat on the ground, stomach or back, and get back up.
Yeah.
At least one time a day. It's called a burpee. But with training and with the functionality in mind, weight loss just comes, muscle mass just comes, the toning part of things just come of what a lot of people have as like their goal. The appearance is just the byproduct of working out. So
Right.
if you go with the mindset of just working out and starting a routine, maybe it's feeling better on the inside, then you're like, oh, well, I've lost some weight. Oh, I have some muscle mass now. Or, oh, I look this way now. Like I get more confidence. You're more successful. You're a happier person. So going about a workout routine and a goal with the functionality piece in mind, the appearance that you have, if it's something that you want to
Chase or pursue.
chase or go, like maybe you look like this at a certain time, or maybe you have a friend that, they have nice arms, that would be great. But if you go into a workout routine just with, let's just start, let's just do it, the appearances will just come. It's something that I've seen a lot of, and something that I've preached for a long time. It's not a fun thing to say because a lot of people don't want to stick with a workout routine to be like, oh, cool, I'm doing this to function in life. It's like, okay, yeah, but the look you're wanting or the muscle mass you're wanting will just come with consistency.
Yeah.
And it'll help you stay a little more motivated as well.
No, yeah, I agree with that. And it's so funny hearing that a little from you, just knowing your background. Like, obviously I'm a bodybuilder,
Yeah.
you're a bodybuilder, like you've experienced that. And in that realm, you're chasing a look. You're
Yeah.
chasing an appearance. And typically what you end up seeing is a lot of injuries. You see range of motion being lost, like lots of the functionality of bodies slows down
Yep.
when you only train a certain way, or when, you are specifically chasing a certain goal.
Yeah.
So I think that's something I agree with you is very important to maintain for yourself. And I think is also what you had talked about being realistic, right?
Yeah.
That's something that is realistic and attainable, and I think very highly underrated for most
is.
people to
is.
recognize the importance.
No one wants to hear that, but because I get a lot of I want to look like this and I want to do this, and you're like, I can't really make you look a certain way, but if we go about it of just starting a routine and just kind of getting into the motion of things and being consistent, I'm like, you'll be in a pretty good spot.
Yeah.
So
I love it.
yeah.
So with everything you've shared so far, I can absolutely see how a lot of these practices, habits, ideas can apply not only to your health and wellness, but also to your financial goals as well. Is there anything else that you have to share with us on that?
One that really comes to mind is aligning your goals with your values. And what I mean by that is you have a family, and maybe you're having to eat a certain way, or maybe your workout routine that you have in your mind that you want to stick to is 2 hours. So now you're being away from your family for 2 hours. You don't want to have to take away from your family, or extra things that maybe you need to do at work, or because you feel forced to cook separately, or you feel forced to get your 2 hours of running in, or whatever that goal is.
Right.
So you want to be able, you want those goals to align with your values. And if there's anyone else that's involved in your goals, that's a conversation that needs to be had with them. And that goes with your finances as well.
What is one way, Brittany, that you think can really help people determine if their goals are aligned with their values?
I would say a big one is you have to find your why. Um, and what I mean by that is we all have different reasons for working out. You want to lose weight, you want to look a certain way, you want to get off the medication, you want to be able to chase your kids around and not, be gassed at the end of it.
Yeah.
So I would say, like, there is a why behind what you do. So if you find your why, I think that will help you stay motivated and consistent, knowing you have that why, that for that specific goal in mind.
It's important to have that, I think, because as we've talked about so much already, when things get hard,
Yeah.
it's really important to come back to your why. And that's a big motivator as the reason, because I don't know about you, but I've had plenty of times in my own journey, whether I'm trying to save money for a new car or to buy a house, or I'm trying to lose weight or do any sort of thing like that. You've set the realistic goals, you're aligned, everything like that. Is there anything else that you would wrap it all up with to let us know this is how you're going to be successful?
Yeah, I would say keep a positive mindset with everything that we've talked about. Again, you're planning to fail, right? You're aligning your goals with your values. Just keep a positive mindset. The worst thing you can do is get into a negative space. You definitely won't achieve your goal if you don't if you don't keep a positive mindset. Your mind is a very strong element of your whole body and your goals. And if one thing goes sideways and you talk negative to yourself and you think you can't do it, that will be detrimental to your goals.
Yeah.
And then I would also say, don't overcomplicate your routine. I see a lot of times, it's just, I got to do this and this and these. I don't want to say weird movements, because I probably do them as well, but I think there's a lot of information in the world, a lot of people that you could follow. Google is a magical thing, but if you start going down the rabbit hole of what you should be doing to achieve certain goals, your mind will be blown with the things that you think you should be doing, when really it just keep it simple. Lift some weights, eat a little better, get some cardio in, get some steps in, running, walking, whatever that looks like, and you will be in a magical spot.
I'm going to
Magical.
throw in hydrate as well.
Yes, hydrate. Plenty of water. Plenty of water. Stay on top of that.
Someone who's chronically dehydrated.
Exactly. Water is very important. So, yeah, that's what I would probably wrap it up with.
Well, Brittany, thank you so much for being here today. It was such a pleasure to have you.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you to everyone for tuning in to this episode of Guiding You Forward. We'll see you on the next one.